bring the law back to the court. Yes, on the ballot initiative to make sure that voter ID is in our Constitution in the state of Wisconsin. That's an 80% issue. And then Brittany Tisner, for DPI, that's Director of Public Instruction, to bring some sanity back to our school system in the state of Wisconsin, which has taken a radical turn for the worst under Joe.
Tomorrow's the big day. Congressman Carey, Van Orden, thanks for all your work. Appreciate you.
Yeah, hey, I'm so thankful that you're out there doing great things for America, and God bless you.
Thanks, man. We'll celebrate in a couple days. 866-95-PATRIOT. 866-95-PATRIOT. A big win in Wisconsin. And I just want to be ruthless about this. I want any glimmer of hope, any little tiny, the slightest light at the end of any sort of tunnel the Democrats maybe had about ever winning an election ever again in this country. I want that totally extinguished right now. I want them totally boxed out, totally in the dark. Not a chance. I want them crushed in Florida in both those races. A blowout election in Wisconsin. That's the kind of victory we need. How would they ever recover from that? And this is a chance, especially when the voter ID is on the ballot too. And 80-20 at least. I'm not 90-10. But voter turnout, more people turn out. That's the question. Tomorrow's the day. Next later, Bob News Dallas, spread the word.
The will count majority.
Coming up right after the David Webb show, Republicans are trying to hold off the election of an activist Supreme Court judge in Wisconsin. Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin joins me after Webb.
The will count majority coming up next at noon East after the David Webb show on SiriusXM Patriot.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-261-2626. That's 800-261-2626. 800-261-2626.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But DC politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
Honey, I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
Oh, it's awful, hon.
You know, my brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos.
I know it's been on our list, but isn't getting life insurance a huge pain? Oh, it's so much paperwork, and you have to go see the doctor. I wouldn't even know where to start.
With Ethos, Dave said it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. Plus, it's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house. That worked for his needs, and Ethos made the whole thing so easy and clear.
10 minutes with no medical exam? Ethos, here we come.
Here's to sleeping better at night.
Help protect your loved ones today with Ethos. Life insurance made easy. Visit getethos.com/news to apply today. That's getethos.com/news.
Salary is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Bill monthly.
Parents, Easter is coming up, and this year you can help your kids celebrate Easter and learn all about Jesus' sacrifice and resurrection with the Resurrection of Jesus from the Kids Guide to the Bible. This fun, beautifully illustrated guide teaches kids all about the miracle of the Easter season. It's part of a free gift bundle that includes a fun Easter magazine too. It's the perfect gift for your child's Easter basket. Don't wait, order your free Easter gift bundle at freeeasterstory.com. That's freeeasterstory.com.
Scare story from there. They're moving. So it's a staged house. They're like, go to our house. You can go to our house. Go to our house. Go. So we did. So it was fun, but all is well. But it's amazing what happens when you're in a moment like that, where it's like you need to go now. You're like, all right. Well, where's the flashlight? Boom. Got it. All right. Let's grab some water. All right. Go. It's amazing what happens to your body want as you're in I don't know, like fight or flight, like you're in like a mode, right? It's like go time. Grab the kids, go out the door, like it's a whole thing. And the comfort of knowing, like in this immediate moment, was we needed a flashlight. We needed a flashlight and water. Boom, got it. That was in the immediate moment. There's other disasters that will come where you're going to be so relieved that you have what you have. In that moment, I needed kids, wife, flashlight, water. That's what we needed. We had it. We're going to make it through, right? We're in a safe place. We can do this. If it was a more lasting disaster, if the tornado hit us, then, or whatever the disaster is, okay, well, we're going to need different things. And that relief is so worth whatever it costs to get the food and water and power you need. That relief is priceless. 4 week, I just got a little taste of it last week. A little taste. Just a little hit in the noggin. Hey, make sure you got your stuff. 4 week emergency food kit. When you claim your kit, you get an extra 12 days of food for free. Prepare with Slater.com, and while you're there, get everything else you need to. Get all the flashlights, get the power, get everything. Prepare with Slater.com.
SiriusXM Patriot presents Breitbart News Daily with your host, Mike Slater.
Let us share this good news. Do you remember a couple months ago, there was all this news about illegal aliens, or just people, but oftentimes illegal aliens, I should say citizens too, but illegal aliens just squatting in people's homes. Do you remember that? And Florida immediately passed some anti-squatting laws in response. It's just the most bizarre thing. Like, what do you mean someone just move into my house and take it over? They just move in? Like, get them out. Oh, we can't get them out. Like, what do you mean you can't get them out? So this video went viral of an illegal alien. If my Spanish is acceptable, he says, we're able to invade a house in the USA. What do you think of this new law? He was labeled as a migrant influencer.
Mi gente, he pensado invadir una casa en United States. Ya que me enteré que existe una ley.
Yeah, we just went for so this guy, bad news. He was on, like, he was flashing stacks of $100 bills, and he had a baby who he said was a U.S. citizen. He was using the social security number to get a bunch of stuff. He said in a YouTube post from his wife's hospital room after she gave birth, he tells his viewers that they paid nothing to have their daughter, thanks to Papa Biden for paying. He said this guy first, he's from Venezuela, he first got into Canada, and they didn't give him enough free stuff. So they gave him a hotel for a month, and they kicked him out. And went to America. And he said, here, you can live the American dream. They give you a bunch of free stuff. He said, I've concluded that the American dream is real. He said he's lived here for over a year and never had to work. And had a pile of food. He said, this is the best, this is food of the best quality. They just give it to you. And then there's a video of his wife trying on a pair of white sandals in a store. And he said she's always wearing new clothes, and then she just returns them and says she didn't like them. Boys in the U.S., there's a million tricks, a million things to do. That to me, all that's wrong. But that last one, like, that's why it's so important to live in a high trust society. But it's really hard to live in a high trust society. Nothing functions if you're not in a high trust society. And when you have people like this, we got enough war here that we got to deal with. But when you have people like this coming in from Venezuela, it puts huge stress, like screws up everything. Just makes our lives worse in all these quote-unquote little ways that we don't really think about. But the only reason these good things exist is because we have a high trust society. People like this come and screw it up. So Trump's Twitter account said, they retweeted that video I played, and it said, update, he has been deported. With the waving hand emoji. He's gone. That is exactly what I voted for. And then we can end birthright citizenship as well. Now we're really talking. Rhonda is in Louisiana. Rhonda, we got 60 seconds. Rhonda, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you for all you do, and I'm glad you survived the tornado.
Well, thank you, Rhonda, very much. What's on your mind?
On the election thing, one thing that I have noticed, at least here in Louisiana, is that they don't advertise. We had an election Saturday. It was an amendment election happens just about every year when the legislature says, well, let's go take it to the people, and then nobody knows about it. And I happen to know because we do have a Go Vote Louisiana app, and I look at it routinely. But I have called legislators that said, oh, hi, we see you vote 85% of the time. Okay, so what did I miss? You missed these little by-elections because nobody knows about them. I'm going through physical therapy the other day going, don't forget to vote. And nobody's like, what? We have an election? Oh, I don't live here. No, this is a statewide election. Statewide. 20% of the people voted, and we lost all 4 amendments.
Rhonda, and I will take some blame on that too. We can't be once every 4 year people. We'll talk about that one tomorrow, Rhonda. Thank you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation of a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds/Patriot. That's HIMSS.com/Patriot for your free online visit.
ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. That's ZipRecruiter.com/news. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
We are Sirius XM Patriot, Channel 125. Conservative principles live here.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rex Thomas. Iran is rejecting President Trump's written suggestion for direct negotiations over its rapidly expanding nuclear program.
In a TV interview, Trump said that in the letter, he says, I think we're going to negotiate because if we have to go in militarily, it's going to be a terrible thing. President Masoud Pezeshkian is leaving open the possibility of indirect negotiations with Washington. But he says in a televised cabinet meeting, the U.S. must prove that they can build trust. In the years since Trump unilaterally withdrew the U.S. from Tehran's nuclear deal with world powers during his first administration in 2018, talks with Iran have made no progress. I'm Donna Porter.
For the president, Wednesday is T-Day. That's T as in tariffs. He plans to slap reciprocal tariffs on countries, including allies and major trading partners. Mr. Trump says many of them have been taking advantage of the U.S. for a long time, and that has to stop now. In the words of President Trump, I'm not joking. His response to questions about possibly serving a third term. That is something prohibited by the Constitution's 22nd Amendment, though. The president says in any event it's too soon to discuss this in too much detail. A tree that bears silent witness to so much history at the White House. See better days. That tree will soon be coming down.
It's a southern magnolia that's nearly 2 centuries old. The tree, which stands near the curved portico on the south side of the White House, is deteriorating and will be removed over safety concerns. President Trump said online that the tree will be cut down and replaced in the coming week. According to the National Park Service website, it's believed that President Andrew Jackson brought the tree's seeds from Tennessee. Ray Clugston, the White House.
On Wall Street, the Dow futures down 254 points. More on these stories at townhall.com. The words you love to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the inDÖCtriNATIONlive program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-991-6976. That's 1-800-991-6976. Lithuanian officials say a U.S. armored vehicle that went missing during a training exercise has been retrieved from a swamp after a 6-day search. However, there is still no information about the fate of the 4 American soldiers who were on board. The Lithuanian defense minister says the M88 Hercules armored vehicle was pulled ashore around 4 o'clock this morning. Hundreds of Lithuanian and U.S. soldiers, along with rescuers, joined the search through the thick forests and swampy terrain just 6 miles west of the border with Belarus. A French court has barred Marine Le Pen from seeking public office for 5 years for embezzlement in a serious blow to the far-right leader's presidential hopes. Although she can appeal the verdict, such a move will not suspend her ineligibility and could rule her out of the 2027 presidential race. The court ruling was a political as well as a judicial gambler for France. News and analysis, townhall.com.
Truth is the authority. All right, first thing, bring your A game because I'll take nothing less. We're going to have an open and honest discussion. The facts matter. Let's talk about the people. It's common sense. It's principles and policies that work for everybody. I just want to talk about how to fix this country. I'm going to take a stab in the dark that you've seen some news of the various Tesla protests that were part of another day of action, weekend of action across America. Now, there's a lot more to the story, but I'm going to rewind and walk you through the lefties and why they will never learn and would posit they should learn. Go woke, go broke. A lesson the DEI fascists won't, should not ever learn. First example, remember Disney? That phenomenal American company, global organization, Happiness for Children, that gave you great movies, no matter who you were, what color of skin, whether you were male or female, young or old. Families used to watch Disney movies together. Even adults would sit around and enjoy Disney animated films for decades. They would go to Disney, they would save their money, they would bring it to Disney, bring the kids, they would have a fun family time for them. How many of you still can't get the It's a Small World theme out of your head? I haven't been able to do that since I was a kid. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a small world. Yeah, there you go. Not doing all that good things. Not doing all that. But yet, they managed to ruin Disney, to destroy the formula, to keep up this woke effort. And it's playing out in the dollars. Snow White, the perversion of a classic fairy tale starring Rachel Zegler, has tanked and is still underwater. It started out at about $45 million the first weekend. It pulled in $14.2 million from 4,200 theaters this past weekend. It was beaten by a Jason Statham film. By the way, I enjoy films. They're basic, right? Kick, shoot, break, kill people, all, action movie kind of formula. A working man beat them at the box office with $15.2 million, while Snow White, the perversion of Snow White, continues to collapse with a 66% decline. 250 million plus, you have to factor in marketing expenses and so much more, easily over 300 million, I would guess, has only brought in a little over 200 million, and that's worldwide. In the U.S., it is tanking badly. 14.2 million to 4,200 theaters. What was the difference? And with upcoming movies from Warner Brothers and others, it is likely to continue to tank. So a, quote, B-grade cinema score movie by Jason Statham beat them at the box office. And something else, a lower budget film, but not a low budget film in any regard, has been well reviewed. The Chosen Last Supper, a faith-based TV series, rather not a film but a series, about Jesus and his disciples, is in third place, better than expected, drawing 11.5 million from 2,235 theaters, which is just a little bit over half of the theaters where Disney could only pull 14.2 million. The point here is that they will go broke, and the American people are making other choices, whether escapism or faith, and there are other films that factor into the weekend. But again, Disney losing miserably because of the misery that they try to sell people as the new reality, the DEI fascists. And if you're a successful American working effectively to help the country, as Elon Musk and Doge continue to do, well, the DEI fascists will look for a way to break you. And they do this at all levels. Remember, I mentioned the protests. We'll get to that later on. In the state of New York, two legislators, Patricia Fahey, a quote Democrat, but really a working families communist from Albany, Guilderland, New Scotland area, and an assembly member, Gabriel. In the very system, because let me see, that doesn't sound very democratic, does it? If I disagree with you, I will use the power of government to destroy you. But yet, that's where the DEI fascists are. And now to the Republicans. Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing, because first you win, then you make policy. And to the Republican Party, at every level, rack up wins for the American people. The support at the ballot box is the return on investment. In Wisconsin, where there is a heated battle for the Wisconsin Supreme Court, Elon Musk and President Trump have endorsed Brad Schimmel, who was on the show last week. And in this case, the Wisconsin Supreme Court tried to shut down, and the state's Democrat Attorney General tried to shut down Elon Musk's $1 million cash giveaway to voters at a rally. But that was rejected in the court. This is to the importance of these courts. Currently, liberals have a 4-3 majority in the court. The heated race. Voting tomorrow. This retirement of its judge could change the balance, and this is at a crucial time for the state. Congressional redistricting, union power, abortion rights, and voting rules are all on the table in Wisconsin. And again, Trump and Musk back in Waukesha County, Judge Brad Schimmel, and Democrats back in Dane County, Judge Susan Crawford, who has, well, one endorsement from law enforcement, and that is the sheriff in her county. All the others have supported Brad Schimmel. And it's a high-dollar race with high stakes, not just for the state of Wisconsin, but for the nation when it comes to congressional redistricting, where Susan Crawford has said that she will make sure that we lose, we being the Republican Party, lose 2 seats, and Democrats pick up 2 seats in redistricting. They will gerrymander to their benefit and against the very voters of Wisconsin. Of course, Democrat donor George Soros and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker have given millions to support Crawford's campaign. So it is a high-dollar race in which the Democrat Attorney General tried to shut down Elon Musk, doing what the Democrats do in maybe in different amounts, but in many ways, using your tax dollars, whereas Musk is giving away his money. And it's not illegal. But I'm not done yet. Because solutions, again, remember, I mentioned earlier that the Republican Party needs to keep delivering wins, not just the president, the party up and down the ballot, all across the board in the states, needs to deliver wins for the American people, and that will be the return on investment at the ballot box. HUD Secretary Scott Turner has unleashed a new strategy to solve America's housing crisis. An idea jointly formulated with Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, to tap into the potential of underutilized federal lands. Let's play this on Maria Bartiromo's show.
That's right. I mean, it's supply and demand. You know, we have to understand that you will not be allowed to use taxpayer money to live in public housing. And so not only is the supply going to go up, but the demand is going to go down, because we are ensuring that any public housing will be used for American citizens. Right now, Maria, 9 million people live in public or subsidized housing. And this MOU will help us to ensure that the data will tell us who's in these houses. The ones that are illegal will know that they're illegal, and so that our American people will have places to live like they deserve.
Sounds reasonable. Sounds like something worth investigating, which again, Secretary Scott Turner and Interior Secretary Doug Burgum have formulated. Increase the supply.
I'll be with you in 1 second. Thank you for your
The supply of affordable housing. Use some of our federal lands. Alleviate the burden on the market. Now, I know a lot of builders, as you know. And this is an idea that has merit, that has support with those builders. So, the burden, while eliminating the grift and graft and abuse of the system by illegal aliens and those who should not be ahead of American people, whether a veteran or otherwise, against any American. To deliver wins, but don't self-immolate. Self-policing is
Thanks
a
for
good
waiting. What can I get
for
started
any,
for you?
You have a mobile order for Norm?
any organization.
Alright, second
Political
window.
self-immolation. It's just and this will make a lot of Floridians unhappy, I'm sure, but I'm not here to make you happy. I'm here to inform you, give you my opinion, and if I can root that basis in something, you may or may not agree with me. In the state of Florida, there will be a contentious and certainly a lively gubernatorial race to replace the term-limited Governor Ron DeSantis, who has done an excellent job
Haven't seen
for
you
the
in a little
state.
bit.
Thank you.
But political self-immolation could potentially happen in Florida. Byron Donalds has thrown his hat into the ring, launching from his hometown. President Trump has endorsed him, and now as a fellow Floridian, leader of the party and president of the simply ask the question, as I do of anyone stepping into something, what are your qualifications for the job? I've dealt with this before inside the Republican Party. I don't care what they do in the Democrat Party. But in the past, at different levels, I dealt with, or in a sense have been involved in, the widow or widower of a politician running for office. And I asked the same question, what are the qualifications? Ideas are not qualifications. They can be good ideas or bad ideas. They have to be backed up with skill sets. So it's a fair question. I'll put it on the table. If someone wants to make the case, give me the case. Here's Byron Donalds responding to Griff Jenkins, my colleague at Fox News, on the possibility of facing the First Lady of Florida, Casey DeSantis, in a race for governor.
You're the only Republican declared right now, but you see Casey DeSantis, the Florida.
Thank you. You too.
If she votes in, how destructive is that? Listen, races take on the shape of their own, so we'll see what actually happens. My mission is going to be focused on our future and the things that are necessary for Florida to continue to grow and thrive and be prosperous for everybody. So that's going to be my mission. It's a great thing to have. I'm glad I have it. And when he makes these choices, it's going to turn out well for his candidates.
We've got a busy week ahead. We really do. I want to hear your thoughts. A lot of them. Into the Republican Party, rack up the wins. Senate, in the state legislatures, in the executive offices, in the secretary's offices. The 1 yard line strategy does not work and gets you nowhere. The last yard matters. And the Republican Party has to focus on getting into the end zone. Yeah, I know it's March Madness, but I like my football analogy. You've got to get it into the end zone. So what does the future hold for business? If you ask 9 experts, you get 10 answers. It's bull market, bear market, rates will rise or fall, inflation's up or down. Can someone invent a crystal ball? I really would like that. Until then, over 40